Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zakk.
I'm Shane.
I'm James.
And we are back with Season 2, Episode 2 of Castlevania. You guys remember what happened last time?
Yeah, we learned about the two human generals who were kind of Dracula's entrusting those two humans to lead...
Forge Masters.
I'm sorry?
Forge Masters.
Yes.
Forge Masters, yeah, and they're Forge Masters, and he puts a lot of trust in these guys because they hate humanity, and we don't really know why yet. Except one guy burned his family alive, I guess.
Yeah, one was Isaac and one was... Help me out.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hector.
Hector, yes. I think it was Isaac that burned his family, wasn't it?
No, it was Hector.
See, I had a 50-50 chance, and I went with Isaac's.
No.
Fuck.
Isaac sounds... I don't know, Hector sounds like someone who burned his family. Oh, right.
Oh, really, Shane? Huh.
Oh, I definitely
really?
do.
Yeah, really?
There's a guy... There's this... I mean, he's in Training Day. He's in a bunch of gangster films. He's this Mexican guy, and his name is Hector in everything. Everything.
That's pretty great.
Is he the guy with the mustache?
Yeah, he's bald.
Was he bald in Training Day?
I'm pretty sure he had a shaved head.
Well, I think it was on the sides, but he definitely... Was he the one with the niece that Ethan Hawke saved?
He was with those guys. He was one of the guys who was going to shoot him in a bathtub. He's one of the thugs. He's always just a thug.
Was he the short? He wasn't the short guy then from Breaking Bad. Tuco. That guy was in there too.
I can't remember. But if his name was Hector, then maybe.
It was Tuco.
Well, if it was Tuco, then there's no. The guy just looked this up like a year ago, and Breaking Bad's been out for a while.
Is he kind of heavy set?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you know.
It's in his contract. He has to be named fucking
Well, they always
Hector.
just call him Hector.
His real name might be Hector, and it might be in credits. It might say himself.
Well, I know one thing that he was in. I was thinking, I don't even know if they ever say his name. So it's like a joke almost with casting directors or something.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so watching that guy, I think that he would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I wasn't going to say much other than, like, Lisa's house got burnt down. She got raided by the church, and I hate the fucking church, man. It just...
Yeah.
In this. I hate the church.
Yeah.
In this. Let me stipulate.
I thought you could say they got raided by, the tax collectors. I thought you were going to say
No, not
something
the
like
tax collectors, but... Yeah, it was interesting to see that flashback, but I hate that fucking priest, man. I just hate that dude. I was glad to see his demise.
Yeah, it's weird to someone at his position with all his wealth and resources and to be still trying to be such a Boy Scout.
Well, you remember in that episode when it showed them dumping bodies for Hector to turn into night creatures, that one of them was that guy.
I do remember that.
Half of his face was gone.
Yes.
So, okay, so when they... So the guy on the table, was he someone who... Those were his remains? Or was he slowly turning into one of those things?
He was slowly turning him into one of those.
Okay,
things.
so
His remains were
we're
there
not going to
first.
recognize...
His remains were there first.
Okay.
When you first see or introduced when that conversation between Godbrand and Hector.
Yeah.
And then he starts to strike the hammer.
Yeah.
And his body starts turning into a night creature.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to recognize that guy when we see him. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
That would have been a cool spin, though, if we recognized that he was the priest.
It might have been, but they're also, it's kind of more horrific thinking what's going to happen to them, even though they're dead. And I think let's
Get
it.
watch it.
Dracula's castle moves. How to describe it? It travels without moving.
Some way to trap it. How do we start?
No.
I want to go home.
Have you been drinking again?
I am guessing I can't read or understand magic, but my family stored everything they found, including books of magic and whatever other weird stuff they came across.
Just a hell of a throne, isn't it?
That's fucking tall. Looks like it'll just fall over.
No.
Bullshit.
Dracula will decide, not you. Threaten me all you like. I will die for you if I don't kill you first.
Walking his fucking heels. Get it.
They look a little like horse
hooves, yeah.
horse hooves. Because they're not doing this, even though she's walking like that.
Well, it's also this cartoon when they're just simply moving about, walking. It looks a little stiff.
And yet, my lord, your forces were repelled from a single city-state.
Rejoin the others. Hector and Isaac, my Forge Masters, will be directing our next moves. I'm sure they would enjoy your help.
As you wish, my lord.
Here's the thing, I think the question's out there.
Yeah. That was pretty fucked up, actually.
She's a schemer.
To call him out like that.
Oh, I can definitely tell. Scheming.
Scheming petty
I'm
scheme.
still not completely clear on why you don't catch fire in the daylight.
My mother's name was Lisa, and she was mortal.
I would very much like to hear the story of how that happened.
Does she not know?
She
What?
actually showed up at his
She
front
didn't
door.
know that he was
She
half
found the
dead.
castle and banged on the front door with the pommel of her knife.
She sounds interesting.
Oh, she was remarkable. She beat on the door until my father let her in, and then demanded he teach her how to be a doctor. Wait, Dracula taught a human woman how to be a doctor? What was first? Bloodletting? God, you still think you're funny? Imagining a world without humans, under endless invented night.
It's always kind of the aim of vampires. But he says it's so
His
cool.
revenge so hard. Did you hear that? I'm something in the undergrowth.
The guy in the middle looks like he's from Metroid.
So they coordinate.
Yeah.
Wow.
You be the flying one, I'd be the guy with the stick if you carry me. Ooh,
Nice.
that was- Someone said ow. Okay.
Fuck.
You gotta use water then. That's an element is fire, right?
She's bending the fire away right now.
Okay. Yeah. So she. Oh yeah, My Hero Academia makes great use of that.
That was amazing.
If you remember Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and a lot of the action sequences,
Yep.
it gets that really grainy, gritty, hard drawn look.
That's yeah. It's transitioned so smoothly.
It
It's
is.
great. Yeah.
That big one she just killed looked familiar. Like I've seen something very similar before.
I think you dated someone like that your senior year.
I
She
did.
lived down the block.
She lived on Washington Street.
Yeah.
We won't say her name here.
That was a big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big one.
I've made worse.
How worse? Well,
Yeah.
what about looks here?
In terms of consequences.
Oh yeah.
You thieving little shit!
Oh.
I didn't steal it.
Oh. Good though. I'm glad he killed that son of a bitch. Oh.
Jesus.
Now do your filthy human magic with it.
I love that. Like the filthy human magic. We kind of talked about that.
Useless fucking thing.
Yeah.
I love his line.
He's starting to believe in love. He saw them chicks.
Well, maybe there is. Jesus.
All right, that was our reaction. Their reaction.
Yep.
Because I've seen this shit. So, but it ain't shit.
Good shit.
No.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
I really love this show.
I love this
And-
shit.
So another thing, because we've addressed this when we first started the series,
Right.
you just have never really watched. I don't know if we should call this anime because I don't know if it's a Japanese production. I don't know if that.
Well, it's a homage.
It's definitely an homage to anime. It's and so based off a Japanese property as well,
Right.
which is based off an American property. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah. It being anime, does it make you feel weird, or are you just into the story now?
No, I'm really into the story now. If you had asked me that a few weeks ago, I'd been like, yeah, it's kind of weird watching animation because I've never really watched a lot of
You never gave it a
anime.
chance. You
Well,
just
it
made fun of me
also-
for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it also
Watching
doesn't
Dragon Ball Z.
have-
Yep.
It doesn't have a lot of the characteristics of most anime you see. Dragon Ball Z, for instance, there's a lot of wacky, goofy moments.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I mentioned earlier in the reaction, has a lot of goofy moments where they draw them very childish, very toonish.
Oh, when
something happens,
Right.
someone
Surprise.
gets hit in the head, or
Yeah.
someone gets hurt.
it's like a slapstick
Right.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have trouble when they see that.
That
at
being
first,
said-
but when you get into that story, man, Full Metal is
That has
A
like
brilliant
objectively, it's one of the best stories.
it's one of my favorite.
Wow.
I think it's in the top tier as far as
I'm talking about
storytelling.
anything.
I know, I
Yeah.
am too. So as far as storytelling is concerned, Lord of the Rings, I don't know if I have them numbered yet as far as which is my favorite, but as far as great stories go
Yeah.
and how they're told, Lord of the Rings is in there. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist the manga.
Yeah.
But the Brotherhood is more closely related to the manga.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't read the manga, but
I haven't read it in its entirety, but
Yeah.
I have it because my oldest daughter, I bought the collection for the 3-volume editions, but then she started collecting the Full Metal editions, which are a hardcover edition.
Yeah.
So I got the other ones.
I wonder if there's a manga of this. I don't know why there would be.
It would need to be. It's kind of like, from what I understand about Dragon Ball Z, I mean, the manga came first.
Yeah.
But it seems like, especially with Kai, that it's so close to the manga.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot more of a rich story
in the action,
manga.
like it lends itself well to the medium of.
It does,
being,
but he's just. I mean, I've read all of Dragon Ball, for
Yeah.
instance, and it's just his comedic timing and storytelling is. It's
Great.
there and it's great.
Okay.
And his artwork's beautiful. So
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, prior to this, and of course Invincible, my history with animation has been like The Simpsons,
Yeah.
Family Guy,
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill
You gotta
type
see
stuff.
King of the
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of King of the Hill.
Propane.
But now that I've watched this and Invincible, when I see anime on the computer, TV, whatever, I do find myself more interested. So that's a positive turn.
So when we say anime, what word usually that word is used to describe Japanese animation.
Yeah, I do know that.
And
Japan.
Right.
yeah, Japan. And Invincible, would it be in that category?
Right, I know that.
It's closely resembles Batman, the animated series.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that that series was animated by an Asian studio. But
Really?
I'm not sure where.
Probably-
I don't know if it was Japan or Korea.
Well, they're one of the best too.
Well, I mean, they're amazing at what they do.
Yeah.
And that's why people go to them for the work.
I'll be honest with you, I've been kind of a lazy TV and movie watcher for this up to this point in my life, and what I mean by that is, watching like just comedies and things you don't have to really think too hard about. You can casually watch.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying getting into these shows where you have to more critically think more. You get more engaged mentally.
I've been exposed to some series and things, The Strain.
Mhm.
I mean, this. But
Yeah, in terms of
usually-
vampires, how would you stack them up? I know I don't like to compare things. That
Well,
I, like,
I know, but I think this is probably number 2. The Strain is number 1.
Really.
And I think that Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman might reign in there at number 3.
Okay.
Because The Strain, I love the characters.
I
love the
don't
story.
disagree.
I love the history between Satrakian and Icors.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's a
Ah,
fucking...
Jew!
Oh, you're such a sentimentalist.
I know.
It's great.
Yeah.
Do you still have her heart? And acting's wonderful in it.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, just the animation, the characters, the action.
Yeah.
The blood.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a beautiful story.
I certainly
the
see
voice
why.
acting is great.
Yeah, I certainly see why people say this is one of the best video game adaptations.
It's
It is.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful thing.
So Alucard on his the fact that his father was this incredibly brilliant, intelligent scholar, philosopher who, if he was wielded the right way, like his mother, Lisa, was trying to do and was probably in the process of doing, and Dracula seemed open to that. If she wasn't killed, then he could have changed the world.
Change the world.
And those are always
For
like,
the better.
well, it's always. I love the stories of like, the chosen one, going down the dark path.
Well, Dracula's a very tragic character in this.
Yeah.
You look at Bram Stoker's Dracula or The Strain and The Master, they're always these dark, Machiavellian, powerful foes that only have the worst intentions for
Right.
everything. And Dracula, he didn't have a good opinion of humanity to begin with.
Yeah.
But then Lisa started to reform him from his love for her and his experience with her. And then that was taken away from him. It was stripped from him. He's like, no, see, these people are just the way I thought they were.
Right.
And
Yeah. I mean, the way Alucard put it, it was
beautiful writing.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was.
When he was talking about that when you're sitting by the fire, I believe. That whole it wasn't a diatribe, but the whole line
Dialogue.
of the
Dialogue,
whole
yeah.
line of dialogue was great. Then it was, it was King Claw.
It was
The way I see that just reminded me of Leonardo da Vinci and all his inventions and shit, and the way he would sit down and just come up with all these contraptions.
Yeah.
The way he was explaining his father's work and how he made this tomb of his knowledge and these books, and they just reminded me of that. But that also puts me on another trail here. You remember the Da Vinci Code?
I read the book.
Dan Brown book.
I read the first book. Yeah.
I read that, and I read Angels and Demons, which I
Yeah.
think Angels and Demons came out first, right?
Yes.
Then Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
So, you remember Silas, the Opus Dei monk?
Yeah, the guy who. Yeah.
And I don't remember what it's called, but when they whip themselves, he did that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what-
Isaac reminded me of.
I actually was thinking about that as well, and I was
Damn.
thinking of I mean, there's this specific, and they still do it in the Philippines, just kind of remind you of your sins.
Well, they still do it, as far as I know, the Opus Dei sect of the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
They still do that. But
Really?
probably not to that extreme.
Yeah, so I was researching this for Vikings. They do little things that doesn't really draw blood. Like, they do little things like discomfort. Like, I even read this is kind of, it's so, I don't even understand why it's such a big deal, but they'll, turn the air conditioning off. They'll do things to put themselves in discomfort.
Well, this isn't something they did.
Which is kind of funny. Like, you went from bloodletting to turn your air conditioning off, man.
Right.
Come on.
Well, this isn't
There's
something.
got to be something in the middle.
This isn't something that was done for the same reasons, but I read somewhere a long time ago, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I only read it somewhere, and I don't know anything about it. But I guess Native Americans, a lot of them, I don't know if the facial hair.
Yeah.
A lot of times when they're represented in media, they don't have facial hair.
Yeah.
Well, I read somewhere that a lot of times when they would grow it, but what they would do is they'd pluck it out.
Really?
Pluck it out.
They'd sit there and they would pluck it. And I don't. That's only what I've read.
Okay.
As a way of punishing themselves.
No, that's
No,
what I'm saying.
oh.
It's not the same circumstances. But
Yeah,
can you
right.
imagine plucking out your fucking beard hairs?
I mean, women they used to do their eyebrows.
Well, I
They still
know,
do
but
it.
your beard is a lot more hair there. And
Yeah,
Seems
they could-
deeper rooted too. I don't
and
know.
just
I-
your cheek, like pulling out your damn cheek.
Ugh.
Yeah, they could be fucking awful.
But I mean, the Native Americans were hard asses. They
Well,
were
yeah.
very, very strong people, tough,
yeah.
and it's just
They-
it's cool to
They
think
just
about.
didn't have immunity to smallpox.
No, I mean, and then they united too late.
Yeah.
And that's what hurt them. But the point is, though, just imagine just plucking out your
I'd be fucking
beard.
awful. I was under the impression that the specific people. I mean, there was probably 2 or 3 migrations that came over the Bering Straits. They just genetically weren't inclined to have much.
Well,
facial hair.
that was what I originally thought. Is that, well, genetically speaking, they must just not grow facial hair like Vikings and shit.
Yeah.
But Beringia,
Yeah.
where Bering Strait used to be, in
Yeah.
the Ice Age, had walled those people off. That was my relatively recent reading on it.
Yeah, when they were
Was
there,
that those
they
people, the modern day Native Americans, are descendants from the Native Americans of the Americans.
yeah.
Were descended from that group of people that had
Become-
coalesced and become
Yeah.
a certain people.
Yeah, you're right. So they from Northeast Asia.
Yeah, Asian group.
And then they
They were
beca-
Euro Asian and Northeast Asian.
Well, if you look at
they
Asians
genetically
today, they don't
became
have a lot
their-
of facial hair, right? Asians today don't have a lot of facial hair,
No, they don't have
like
a lot.
the
No.
Chinese and stuff like that.
But there, you're right. They were there, and they genetically became their own distinct.
Yeah,
Uh,
because of all those the migrations through the Bering Strait, and then they were walled off by the glaciers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And after the glacial melt, they migrated into the Americas.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's a really cool thing.
I can think of a specific situation where I went in knowing I was way over my fucking head, and the reason I did it was because I didn't want to spend the money. And it's at my old house. We had a plumbing issue. My mom put rice down the garbage disposal, and it fucked up my plumbing big time. Right. So I called around a few places. They said it's probably gonna be around $600 to $1,000 or whatever. I'm like, fuck, I'm not. That's not fucking happening. So I had to start fucking taking plumbing out. I cut out a piece of in the roof or not the roof, the ceiling in the basement.
Problem with the garbage disposal is
Yeah.
just cutting a hole in the
Yeah.
roof.
Well,
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Well, that's where I started with the garbage disposal, and it didn't fix the issue.
Yeah.
Long story short, what happened is the rice had went all the way down past the garbage disposal, past the what's the big bolt in your basement on your main line that you have to unscrew to get to like your main pipe line.
Bolt that you have to unscrew.
Well, there's like an access point.
You mean
access
the
point.
clean out?
The clean out, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do everything I can do. I fucking start taking ceilings out and shit. And then I looked on Google and I saw something about a clean out. Okay? I had no clue what a fucking clean out was, but I took the piece of wall out. I found the clean out. And I started unscrewing this. To me, it looked like a big fucking bolt.
It's a plug.
It's like a plug,
It's a
yeah.
big plug,
It's
yeah.
got a really big, like wrench nut or whatever that you
Yeah.
unscrew it. So I unscrewed that, and it never even occurred to me that
Everything was behind it.
there was everything behind it. and let me just say this: it took me about a week to get to this point. So that water and funk had been stewing in there for a while.
Bacteria.
Bacteria, everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sitting right in front of this fucking thing. It's right here with a wrench, just vroom, vroom, vroom. All of a sudden, all hell broke loose. And that plug, which was metal, fucking just got all the pressure just got exploded off there right in my face. So this motherfucker hit me in the face as hard as it could. But it wasn't that which was the worst part. It was all the shit that was piled up all up in the pipe behind that, to just pieces of rice and food and fucking God knows what, just
Spit and everything else.
And the bad thing was when I work, I'm like with my mouth open.
He's like the guy in It. Remember he's fighting that version of It, and it's that fucking rancid guy.
Yeah,
and he's throwing up on him, and his mouth's open.
Oh,
yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, I remember that.
So all this shit went in my mouth, and I swear it felt like it lasted for a minute. Just all this shit coming out. It was fucking traumatizing, and I was dry. I was on my hands and knees after that, just dry heaving in like a fucking pool of fucking shit. Not literal shit, but like food and bacteria.
Yeah, it smells bad enough.
It smells really bad, dude. That was the one time I knew.
Well, so what'd you end up doing?
I ended up calling a fucking plumber.
So you did that work for nothing?
Because it still wasn't resolved. After I gathered myself after laying in all that shit for a while, they came and they brought like a mechanical auger or whatever they're called. And they put it in there and it made a hell of a noise. And they auged it out, and yeah, it ended up still cost me like close to $1,000. Yeah,
Jesus.
And the embarrassment of, because before I called them, I went to Home Depot and rented a big ass shop vac, and I shot back my basement because there was shit everywhere. I mean, just
so they come in there like this guy, you know?
Yeah, look at this dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, I guess I would not want to be in a situation. I would try to ask everyone I knew first and see if it's something I could.
Yeah.
You know, like if Zakk knows this, like I'm probably lazy. Like if I could look up on YouTube, I know people do that. It's kind of my last resort if I have a mechanic or if I have. I'll tell you, we have a relative. I won't say who it is.
Okay.
Their husband couldn't get a light switch to work. Okay. So this guy, he went to the light switch and just cut out drywall above it to the ceiling to the fan and the light fixture on top. Couldn't get it fixed. He's fucked with the wires, and then that person's wife called my dad, who is kind of electrician, I guess. He wired my house. He wired some friends' houses. He walks in, messes with the light switch. He goes, "Yeah, your switch is bad," or something.
Oh my god!
Ended up changing that, and it cost.
And all you have to do is unscrew the cover plate. And shut the breaker off. Take the switch out.
It cost probably $8 for a new
Someone's
switch.
sawing into the drywall.
Yeah.
Oh my
god!
Your dad also does drywall work.
Yeah, he does. I mean, if you guys maybe have seen slowly this has come together because of my dad. I've helped a little bit, but it's usually him telling me to lift stuff and put it there.
Right.
Without him, I wouldn't know what I was doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which is kind of sad. I feel, because all the knowledge that our parents have, I feel or our dads have, that kind of shit, I wish I knew more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they probably wish they knew what their dads knew.
Maybe.
So,
So you guys don't have specific examples like my fuck up?
No,
mine. I have a similar one, but it's not as fucking nasty.
Yeah.
I was at the water leak in Belpre when I worked for the city.
Yeah.
And the water leak was actually probably 300 yards away. It was down the highway towards the Orion plant, the Degussa plant. You know where that is?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Oh yeah.
The flame. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm thinking no country, but
down towards Belpre.
Yeah.
By the new bridge.
It's on the right.
The newer bridge. Yeah.
Burner tower on it, and it's burning off.
I don't
It's
know.
always at the flame up there at night.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, anyway, the leak was there. It was out there towards that plant. And they couldn't get the water shut off to it. So a lot of old knowledge about the city's water systems was lost when the old foreman quit. We had old records, but they weren't very reliable. So we're going through there trying to shut these valves off. And I shut this valve off, one of the only ones we could find.
Right.
It's an 8-inch valve, so it's huge. I'm like, all right, I've got it. So we're going to cut this out and replace the valve because we couldn't get the valve to shut off.
Right.
Yeah.
Is what it was. So we shut off the one head of it. Well, what I didn't know was it was tied in to the main system through the actual valve to shut off the whole system. This is this 8-inch system that ran up the highway.
Yeah.
And gave water to I don't know how many people. So there's a lot of flow behind it. So I get in there with a saw after we dug it out, and we were getting ready to replace this valve and cut that fucker open. And it was that hole filled up really quick.
Oh my
and
God.
I was fucking soaked, and the water was cold. The saw got caught from the pressure from the water because it was pressing on the saw blade when it was in there, and I couldn't get the fucking saw blade back out of there.
It was a shit show.
It turned into a shit show real quick.
Yeah.
And then someone got a hold of Bill, the old foreman. He's like, oh yeah, there's a valve right over here. And it was 5 feet away from me. But this woman's bushes, not a bush, but her bushes, had grown over the valve.
So you didn't see it.
And no one knew it was there. The marker was gone.
Golly.
So we had to cut out the damn hedges and mark the damn thing, and it was
fucking shit show.
It was an unfortunate event.
Fortunately, no one knew what they were doing, though. So it wasn't like...
I know. So it wasn't
not like your boss
just you fucking up.
Yeah.
I have one more really brief one.
Okay.
And the only reason I got to tell you, because it was such a stupid fuck up. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. I was in a really high-end customer that had these really nice, like, bronzy-looking sinks. And I actually spilled an acid on them. And it would have cost fucking thousands of dollars to replace. So I just fucking took the acid, poured it all over these fucking things, and just scrubbed them real good where it was like really fucking shiny. And I was so nervous, dude. I was expecting it. I didn't say a word, right?
You're expecting an ass reading.
I was expecting a call. Well, we did get a call. And I turned these really expensive, nice, bronzy looking fucking sinks into this really shiny, basically I stripped the finish off of it. So we did get a call, but the guy called and he was like, "Oh my God, whatever your guy did with our sinks, I love it. It's amazing." Dude, when that call came through, I was like fucking so nervous. So it was one of those situations where I completely fucked up and it turned out okay. Now
you made the best out of it.
Here's
that was good thinking though, because you could have just walked away and said, "Hey, I fucked up your crap."
Yeah, I fucked up your shit. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: the one I fucked up was in the men's room, so I went in the women's room and fucked it up intentionally, and it was perfectly fine. Yeah, but
that is so funny. Like you did one little thing here, so you had to scorch earth, make everything look the same.
Yeah, but here's the thing:
it's not a bad plan.
That finish probably protected it though. So over time,
so it's going to eventually.
Yeah, over time, that guy's probably cussing me out. Like, God damn it!
Well, it's going to start to
corrode.
Yeah. I got to get brass polish and go in there and pop it off and refinish it.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Tarnish.
I was shitting my pants so hard that day. When I spilt that on there, the acid, I was like, "Oh my fucking God, what am I going to do?" I'm like pacing back and forth in the bathroom, praying to God that no one walks in. But yeah,
my things have been I've been in social situations where I thought I had a handle on like the things that could happen and stuff like that, and then in some cases I did, and I got away with it. In some cases, I was over my head.
Yeah, it just turned out shitty. Yeah.
There's been a lot of situations where I knew I was going to go in over my head. But generally, I block it out.
Right.
That's one thing I am. I'm not very good at compartmentalizing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm very good at compartmentalizing my mind when it comes to that.
If
I walk into a situation that I know I'm probably going to be unprepared for, I don't know what I'm doing.
You just turn it off.
I just turn it off.
I wish I could do that.
I just go in and I roll the dice and I just make myself available for the guys that do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we get in there and we get it done, and then that's how you get your experience.
Yeah, see, if I know something's going to be fucked up weeks in advance, like in about 3 weeks for me, I stress out almost to the point of physical illness.
I finished a 2-year degree
right.
in college for diesel mechanic.
Right.
Yeah.
And up until then, I didn't have a strong mechanical background.
Yeah.
I worked.
Right.
I was a good worker. I had a good reputation, a good resume.
Right.
But I walked into my job that I have now. I didn't say, "Hey, I've got this piece of paper. I know everything."
Right.
I just said, "Look, I just went there and I put in basically went in there like I was going to work."
Right.
And you go in there and you listen to the teacher. You do what they tell you to do, and I came out of it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the guys at work respect you more. When you don't come in there like an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Like waving your degree around or saying, like, "Oh, I'm fully prepared for this, blah, blah, blah." So for me, it was just, well, no. I went to school.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I was like that. I just dread shit so bad to the point of, like, physical illness. Like, if I had something major coming
But
up.
for me, though, it depends what it is.
Yeah.
Like, if it's something that's going to come back and haunt me later. And I have no control over.
Right.
For instance, that shit, I can switch it off for a little while.
Right.
But it keeps kind of
It leaks through the cracks.
And I'll eventually have a really bad fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't get it out of my head.
Yeah.
And then I'll go a week or so dwelling on it, come out of it,
No.
And they'll just seep back in eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Dracula.
Yeah.
When they open with his court and the argument in the court, and he was telling them silence and everything, and they weren't stopping.
Yeah.
They were still bickering. Do you guys feel as though he's losing his influence?
I thought he kind of was a little bit, which is weird because I thought it was so soon after it established that like these people are low to me, they're gonna do what I say. And then like the next episode in the very beginning of it, I mean, a part of me was like, I don't think they hear him, but like I think it was, to me, it was symbolizing.
Well, it comes back to when Hector and Isaac were arguing and Carmilla was involved.
Right.
He says enough, and they all stop. So it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in that instance, Dracula wasn't the foremost person in the room, even though he was there.
Yeah, I thought it was a lack of respect, and I expected him to strike one of them dead to kind of like draw the line, like, hey, but he didn't do it. 'Cause sometimes you need a good killing to make people realize you're still in charge. You know what I mean? So
No, yeah.
didn't happen though.
You notice I've kind of hinted at it in previous episodes, but Dracula's condition in this episode, Alucard says it out loud, and he's gone mad.
Yeah.
So they're talking about with Godbrand and them discussing the war efforts and the plans. It's just slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where the night creatures are just going about slaughtering people, and there's no actual developed strategy
Yeah.
to the war. So that's what I was getting at, is that he's actually just gone mad, and he just wants to wipe everything out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's no structure to it or discipline.
Which is weird because one time he hinted like, and I feel like the two humans kind of reflect that a little bit. Like we don't needlessly need to bathe in the blood of children.
Right.
So I guess to me, I thought that was kind of coming from the top. Like Dracula just wants him dead. He doesn't
care how it's done.
Yeah, he doesn't need for everyone to suffer and be brutally crying and suffering and dying.
Well, he said that out loud. He said that in
Yeah.
the last episode, that he doesn't care about the suffering. He just wants them all dead.
I don't feel
so
like
now
he-
it's like he's resigned
yeah.
to just his pain and he's not angry anymore.
He doesn't feel as mad now as he did in previous episodes.
He's not consumed with rage.
Right. Now it's a mission.
He's
It's gotta
consumed
be,
with, like Shane said, he's consumed
Yeah.
with his grief.
it's just got to be done. Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching our reaction and our discussion. It was a long one, but we hope you liked it. If you like us, you want to support us, you can. Just like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave comments down below. They help the algorithm. Make sure you check out all the other Third Street content as well. And we have more stuff coming.